It was close to midnight when Ryan's old Honda coughed and died on a lonely Arizona highway. The desert stretched endlessly in both directions, and the silence pressed against him like a heavy blanket. No phone signal, no passing cars, just darkness and the faint hiss of desert wind. Then, far in the distance, a flicker of light appeared. A neon sign, buzzing weakly against the black sky. Vacancy, Desert View Motel. Relieved, Ryan walked toward it. The motel looked abandoned, paint peeling from the walls, windows cracked, and weeds twisting through the parking lot asphalt. Yet the office door swung open with a slow creak, as if it had been expecting him. Inside, a single lamp burned dimly on the counter. Behind it sat an old man with skin like parchment, eyes pale and unblinking. He didn't speak, didn't smile. He simply slid Ryan a tarnished brass key. Room 6. The hallway smelled of mildew and rot. The wallpaper was peeling, and the carpet squished under his shoes though it hadn't rained in weeks. Each step echoed, though the hall should have been too narrow for echoes. Room 6 was at the very end. He unlocked the door, and the air inside was stale, frozen in time. The decor belonged to the 1960s. Mustard-colored curtains, a rotary phone, and a cracked mirror above the dresser. Dust coated everything. He lay on the bed, exhausted. But the moment he closed his eyes, the television in the corner clicked on by itself. No channels, just static. He sat up, and then he saw it. In the static, shapes began to form. Human faces, dozens of them, screaming silently, their mouths stretching wider and wider until they filled the screen. A shiver ran down his spine. He pulled the plug from the wall, but the TV kept hissing. Then, 3 slow, heavy knocks on the door. Ryan froze. Front desk, a voice whispered, but it was the same voice he had just heard inside the static. He opened the door to find only an endless hallway stretching far longer than it should. Each door along the way stood ajar. He peeked inside the first room. A man hung from the ceiling by a frayed rope, eyes bulging, body swaying gently. Yet when Ryan blinked, the room was empty. He passed another. A woman sat on the bed, her face buried in her hands. When she looked up, her eyes were missing, black holes where they should have been. Ryan stumbled backward. The hall seemed to grow longer, the shadows deeper. Whispers followed him, crawling under his skin. Stay, stay with us. The exit sign flickered red at the end of the corridor. Desperate, Ryan sprinted toward it. But the faster he ran, the further it seemed. The whispers grew louder, turning into screams. Doors slammed shut around him, one after another, like the motel itself was sealing him inside. Finally, he burst through a stairwell door and raced down the steps. They spiraled endlessly, down and down into darkness. His legs burned, but the stairs never ended. He screamed, his voice swallowed by the void. And then silence. He found himself back at the office. The old man was still behind the counter, smiling now. His teeth were yellow and far too sharp. Ryan slammed the key on the desk. I'm leaving. I don't care if my car's dead. I'll walk. The man tilted his head, his glassy eyes unblinking. But you already checked out. Confused, Ryan looked down. His hands were pale, transparent. He could see the counter through his own skin. Panic tore through him. He stumbled back outside, but the parking lot was gone. The desert was gone. In its place stretched a sea of motel rooms, doors stretching endlessly in every direction. The neon sign buzzed above, forever. Ryan ran, pounding on door after door, but each one opened to the same thing, room 6. The cracked mirror, the static television, his own reflection, staring back at him with hollow eyes. The next morning, police found Ryan's abandoned Honda on the side of the highway. The car was in perfect condition, keys still in the ignition. But Ryan was never seen again. Locals whisper about the Desert View Motel, a phantom building that only appears to stranded travelers at night. They say if you see its flickering neon sign, you should keep driving. Because once you check in, you never check out.